Welcome to 10-Minute Mentor, premier mentoring for entrepreneurs who want to share their gifts with the world. Each episode is designed to be a mini coaching session, providing valuable nuggets that will empower you to share your message and make a bigger impact. My name is Rich Perry. I want to thank you for trusting me each and every week. I know you want to rock this year, so let's get started right now. All right, what's going on, everybody? Rich Perry here with the 10-Minute Mentor, fresh from podcast. Last week I was in Orlando for PodFest. I was introduced to PodFest a couple years ago. Had the opportunity to speak at PodFest last year virtually, and then this year we're back. Thank God the COVID pandemic is on the decline. At least it is in some places, but we were able to have the PodFest in person in Orlando. So that being said, I have a really cool discussion today. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to get the most out of a conference. Maybe you've got a conference coming up in the near future. You're going to some seminars now that we're back to live events. So today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to make the most out of a conference. These are things that I utilized last week at PodFest, and they're things that you're going to be able to utilize as well, once again, to get the most out of a conference. All right. So here we go. Let me hide this real quick. And we're going to get started. All right. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to obviously make a plan. All right. A lot of times when you go to these conferences, you're always going to get some kind of itinerary. Now that everything is online these days, everything from registration to virtual events to online communities that are happening before the event itself, you're going to know who's speaking, where they're going to be. You're also going to be looking for other attendees, people that maybe you know professionally, from in-person experiences, other seminars in the past, other conferences, maybe your colleagues, maybe you just follow them on social media. So the first thing that you want to do before you go to a conference to make sure you're getting the most out of it is make a plan. Again, who's speaking, who's attending, and where are they going to be? All right. So get your schedule in place, get your itinerary so you're getting the most out of that experience. The second thing you want to do is, a lot of times at these conferences, especially if it's like multi-day events, you want to make sure that you're putting time aside in the evenings to attend the networking events. Maybe they're networking events, maybe they're mixers, maybe they're called meet and greets, whatever they're called. You want to make sure that you're putting time aside. Get your dinner, and then make sure you make your way to the networking events. So bring your business cards. If you are an author, then you're going to want to implement the book strategy. Now, I'm going to discuss the book strategy in other episodes later on. But in short, the book strategy is, instead of walking in there with a stack of business cards, walk in there with a bunch of books, okay? Sign that book. Put it in the hands of somebody. Maybe that person is an ideal client. Maybe that person is a potential collaborator. There's someone of interest to you. Put your book in their hand. You're not charging them. You're not asking them to buy it on the spot. You are giving them that book. That is the book strategy. Believe me, they will remember you. All right. So number 3, I want you to also spend time walking the hallways. All right. Make sure that you're spending time going to the seminars where the people are delivering their presentations, but also spend time walking the hallways. If there is an online community, check out the online community. Maybe it's a Facebook group, maybe it's a group elsewhere. See what other attendees are there. What are they doing? Maybe they're making different posts. Maybe there's a hashtag that you need to follow. All right. So spend time walking the hallways and getting to meet those people, so that can happen outside of those networking events and the mixers that I was just talking about. All right. A lot of times we say the education happens in the seminar room, but the magic happens in the hall. That's where there's going to be lots of opportunity for business exchanges and also collaboration for the future. All right. The fourth thing that you want to do now, listen to this because this is interesting. As you're spending time figuring out the seminars, the presentations that you want to go to at that conference, you're going to want to attend the seminars, the presentations, the lectures from speakers that you don't know anything about. Okay. They're speaking on a topic that you don't know much about or that you're interested in learning more. Another thing that you can do is attend presentations from speakers who are delivering on a topic that you also teach on. And I'll give you an example why. When I went to Podfest, I went to at least two different presentations from speakers who were talking on a similar topic that I was talking on. And the reason that I did that is because a lot of times we get in our own heads, we have our own way of saying things and doing things. However, there are other people with other insights, other ideas, other tips, other life experiences. Maybe that person says something in a way that is clearer, more succinct, or maybe they give a better example than you do. That's not to say we're not comparing anything, but you're able to hear from their experience, hear their particular insights, and then you can say, hey, wait, that person said it better than I did. Let me say it the way they do. You're not stealing a style, okay? You're just delivering it in a better, more clearer way for your audience, all right? And I did that with one of the guys that I met, and he said something that I know unconsciously, and I know it naturally, but I didn't remember to say it consciously. Okay. I knew it unconsciously. I knew it naturally. But when he said it, I'm like, oh man, I definitely need to address that point in my presentation. And I did. And he was there and it was cool because we were showing each other love and respect and everything like that. So attend those seminars from people that are also teaching on the same topic as you. And number five, tip number five. So you'll remember back when I gave tip number one, I said to make a plan, know exactly where you're going. Okay. Get that schedule in order, plan your itinerary. Where are you going? So tip number five, I'm actually going to go to the opposite end of that and say, be flexible. A lot of times, no matter how well planned a conference is, no matter how well planned the team is, things are going to happen. Okay. Timelines will get mixed up. The room isn't clean, or there's a traffic going on, or whatever. Anything can happen. Okay. So be flexible. And hey, you might meet somebody in the hall that you strike up an amazing conversation and you miss the seminar or the workshop that you were going to in the first place. Okay. And that's okay. So make sure you're being flexible. So, real quick, I'm going to recap. You're going to want to make a plan, attend those networking events and the mixers that happen in the evening. You want to walk the hallways and find out what's going on. You're going to attend the workshops from people that you want to learn from, and also the people that are talking on a topic just like yours to get those better insights. And number five, you want to be flexible. Now, here's something that I'm going to do, and I got this. It was a great tip from Podfest. So right now, we're doing a live stream. We're broadcasting to Facebook, we're broadcasting to YouTube, and we're broadcasting to Twitter. Now, one thing that we're going to start doing is I'm going to clip it in just a minute. And that's for the people on the podcast. So you're going to get 10-minute mentor in a 10-minute actionable segment. Okay. Now, the people that are here on the live stream, stay tuned. We're going to do a quick little Q&A. So for the people that are watching on the live stream, we're going to go longer than 10 minutes. All right. So this will be the people that are listening on the audio that just want to be here for the 10-minute mentor, for the actionable items, the tips, and the insights, you guys are going to get it in 10 minutes or less. That's my promise. The people that are here with the live stream, stick around for a few more minutes. We're going to do a Q&A. If you have a question, drop it in the comments, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on YouTube, or on Facebook. All right. So that's it. Thank you for checking out 10-Minute Mentor with Rich. I appreciate you. Make sure that you join the 10-Minute Mentor podcast community on Facebook. Reach out to me, Coach Rich Perry, on all social channels. And also go to my website, richperry.com. For the people listening on iTunes and Google Podcasts, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Thanks and be excellent. And the people that are here with the live stream, stick around. All right. So here we are with the live stream. For the people that are watching this on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, I already had one question drop in here. Let me see. So my man Paul Shump says, good call, get a different perspective. I'm assuming that, Paul, you're talking about when I said attend the workshops and the seminars, both from people that you want to learn from, that they know something that you don't know. They're a higher expert or whatever it is, or you just want to learn more about that particular subject. I also said to go to the people's presentations that talk on the same topic as you, so you can get deeper insights and maybe even add something to your own toolbox. Like, hey, John said it better than I did, so I'm going to take what he said, give it to my audience, and add even greater value. So thanks, Paul, for adding that. So real quick, I'm going to take a sip of water. All right. And one of the questions that came in earlier, okay, question that came in earlier was about the book strategy that I mentioned in tip number 2. So I'm going to go into a little deeper discussion of the book strategy real quick. And this is for the people that are here watching the live stream. So it's bonus goodies for you. Also, remember here, you know what? I forgot to do this earlier, but that's okay. So wherever you're watching, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on the bottom, on the lower third, you can see all my different social handles. So if we're not connected, if we're connected on only one of those channels, then make sure you go to those other channels: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and let's connect on those channels as well. All right. So I said that. Now let's hop back into it. So a question that came in earlier was to describe the book strategy and how beneficial it could be. So a couple years ago, I joined the Change book series by Jim Lutz and Jim Britt. It was a big book series. It still is. 200, maybe even 300 authors from around the world. I think they're on like book, I don't know. There's a lot in the series. Okay. I'm not even going to try and guess what number they're on right now. But it was from the Jims, Jim Lutz and Jim Britt, when I joined the Change book series. They're the ones that first told me about the book strategy. Okay. And what that is, this is for our authors that are viewing right now. You go to these networking events, you go to these conferences, you go anywhere professionally. A lot of times people go with a stack of business cards, and you're handing them out and you're handing them out. And how many times have you ever attended a conference or an event, a networking event, and you walk away with a big stack of business cards from other people, and you just, your mind goes blank? Oh, I can't remember, who was this guy again? Who was this person again? Ah, man, I can't remember. All right. Now, you walked away with 10, 15, 20, 30 business cards, and there isn't much of a personal bond, a personal connection with those people. And if they don't have the person's photo, you're like, oh, man, I can't remember who this person was. And then you throw the stack of business cards in the trash, or you put them on the table and they just get lost in the shuffle. All right. Now, the book strategy, you go in there with a couple of books, all right? And you're scouting out the area. Maybe you're even doing that pre planning that I was talking about before, and you're going in there with a game plan. I'm going to put my book in that person's hand. Maybe that person is an ideal client. Maybe that person is an ideal collaborator. Maybe that person is just an influencer, and you want to make sure that that person always remembers who you are. You want to make that lasting impression. There's no better way to make a lasting impression with somebody, potential client, potential collaborator, or an influencer that you want to impress. No better way than to put your book in that person's hand. You can write it out to them. Hey, John, thanks for connecting. Looking forward to having that discussion, and business opportunities on the horizon. Looking forward to working together. Signed, your good friend Rich. And now that person has your book in their hand. It's written out to them. That is a lasting impression. That person is going to remember you for a long, long time to come. All right. So that is the book strategy. And I went to Podfest and I had my bags packed, and I realized that I didn't have as much room as I would have liked. So I took some things out and put some more books in and made it work. All right, so we have another question. Hey, my man Mark. So real quick, as we're doing this live stream. So Mark, thanks for also hopping in. So I'm not sure when you hopped in, Mark, but I was kind of talking about some things from Podfest, and actually Mark. So I'm glad that Mark hopped in here. So Mark is a guy that we didn't know each other before Podfest. He actually found me on Instagram, and we tried for like a day and a half to connect. And we just kept missing each other in the hallways. We kept missing each other at events, but we ended up connecting. I put that book in his hand. We realized that not only did we have a bond in personal development, we're both podcasters, we're both NLP practitioners. Most importantly, we're both fans of Star Wars. But Mark and I realized we had a lot in common, and for the 4 or 5 days that we were there, we were connecting. We were going, to this seminar and that seminar. We did a lot of discussion on ways that we can collaborate. And it's all because we both, Mark and I, used these 5 tips that I've been talking about. Make a plan, attend the networking events, walk the hallways, attend all the workshops from all different kinds of people, and also be flexible. So big shout out to Mark. Thank you, Mark, for connecting. And also, Mark, thank you for inviting me on the Clubhouse chat this morning. Yeah, we definitely need to talk more about Star Wars, especially about the new Obi-Wan that came out today. So I'm going to race home and watch that. Um, and Mark said, for those that so Mark's watching this on YouTube. I just realized that I was talking about who's commenting, and I'm not saying where they're commenting from, so I do apologize. Mark and Paul are both commenting from YouTube. So Mark said that he loved the book strategy, and it made a big impression on him, and I appreciate that. And I know from our discussions that Mark and I have big plans to do a lot of cool things together, whether that's our upcoming Clubhouse discussions. As I said, he invited me onto his Clubhouse discussion this morning, where we did talk about like our biggest takeaways from Podfest. And actually, I'll be honest with you, that was where this topic, 5 ways to make the most out of a conference, kind of came from, was Mark's discussion on Clubhouse this morning when we are just talking about our biggest takeaways. So I just kind of switched the wording a little bit, hit it from a different angle, and here we are at 5 ways to make the most out of a conference. So big shout out to Mark. And if you're on Clubhouse, then you're definitely going to want to check out his rooms. Mark, if you're still in here, put in the comments area the club room that we can find you for those that are watching, whether it's in real time or those that are going to be watching in the future. So definitely want to connect with Mark on Instagram and his podcast, and also in the clubhouse room. He said his the clubhouse room is called the Empowered Podcasting. Empowered Podcasting is the name of the club on Clubhouse, and he does a discussion every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to talk about all things podcasting, whether it's news, whether it's how to get yourself booked on a podcast, or you're just looking to get tips for getting tips to ramp up your show and make it 10 times better, then you're definitely going to want to check out Mark's Clubhouse room, the Empowered Podcasting room on Clubhouse. All right. If anyone else has a question, drop that in the comments area. Once again, I do appreciate you guys, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. I didn't promote this. And the reason I didn't promote this is because I'm in the process of moving all of my episodes over. So I really just wanted to do an impromptu session because I'm switching hosting carriers. I'm switching hosting services, I should say. And I just needed to get a quick episode out there to make sure that I pressed all the buttons correctly, flipped all the knobs in the right way. And once I know that we did that correctly and we're on the new hosting platform, then we're good to go for all future episodes. However, I do want to say, moving forward, we are going to keep the new format. And the new format is going to be all the good stuff, the action items in the beginning, in the first 10 minutes for the listeners, the people that are listening just to the podcast. But if you want to have a discussion afterwards, if you have questions, if you want to chat with me, if you want to say something, okay, you want to drop a comment in, you want to have some kind of dialogue about the discussion, about the topic, then you're going to want to stick around on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, because after the 10-minute episode ends, the bonus content will continue. All right. And that's just for the people that are catching the live stream. So once again, I want to thank you guys. If you're on Facebook, make sure that you make sure you join my Facebook group, 10-Minute Mentor Podcast Community. Right now, you're checking out the live stream. If we're not connected on all social channels, then make sure you connect with me on all social channels: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. You can always reach out to me, Rich at richperry.com. If you have a question, shoot me a message on any of the social media channels. Get your questions answered. I'll be happy to do that. And make sure you go to my website, richperry.com. And if you need to connect with me, it's rich at richperry.com. So that's it. Thanks and be excellent. And I'll talk to you soon.